our faces? You really think we're just gonna let you go?
Looks like it's going to be.
I'm sorry.
Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Today we're diving into 20 hidden horror gems most people missed but shouldn't have. And if you're here for your daily horror fix, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 20, Clock.
I am out of time.
Engine. You are it.
Reset the clock.
Clock will kick out.
Out of time. Working.
Ella is a successful woman with no desire for children, until pressure from family and society convinces her to join a radical clinical trial designed to correct her biological clock. But once inside the pristine facility, her body and mind begin to betray her. Time fractures, reality slips, hallucinations grow darker. Each treatment pulls her deeper into a nightmare of ticking clocks, twisted memories, and psychological unraveling. No one believes her, and every attempt to escape is met with sterile smiles and hollow reassurances. Directed by Alexis Jacknow, Clock is a slow-burning descent into medical horror, where modern science becomes a prison of control, and autonomy is the price of conformity. As Ella spirals into madness, the lines between patient and experiment vanish, leaving only dread in their place. Number 19, the lost footage of Leah Sullivan.
Scream loud when they are cut.
In a dusty town with secrets buried deep, one woman's curiosity becomes her undoing. The film follows a student journalist who returns to her sleepy Massachusetts hometown to investigate a decades-old cold case, the brutal, unsolved Mulcahy murders. Directed by Burt Grinstead, this found footage nightmare unfolds through Leah's camera lens, capturing every unsettling whisper and shadow as she digs deeper into the case. What begins as a routine school project twists into a chilling descent into something ancient, unseen, and watching. The film's realism is its terror. Stripped of polish, every frame feels like cursed evidence we were never meant to see. As the footage grows erratic, so does Leah's fate, vanishing into silence. Number 18, Contracted.
There's something wrong with me.
After a one-night stand at a party, Samantha wakes up feeling wrong. What starts as a rash quickly becomes something far more grotesque. Her eyes darken, fingernails blacken, and her body begins to rot from the inside out. But no one believes her. Friends turn away. Doctors dismiss her. Trapped in a decaying shell, Samantha races to uncover what's happening before she loses everything, including her mind. Directed by Eric England, Contracted is a raw, disturbing descent into body horror, where infection becomes transformation, and helplessness is the true virus. Every scene tightens the grip of dread, pushing viewers into a suffocating spiral of disease, paranoia, and isolation. Samantha's breakdown isn't just physical, it's existential, and there's no cure for what's growing inside her. Number 17, Bound to Vengeance.
Stop! Nina, stop!
In a grim basement stained with fear, a girl breaks her chains, but her nightmare has only just begun. Bound to Vengeance follows Eve, a captive who turns the tables on her abductor, forcing him at gunpoint to lead her to the other girls he's hidden across the city. Directed by J.M. Cravioto, this gritty revenge horror twists the captivity genre into something darker, faster, and far more brutal. Eve isn't looking for justice. She's hunting retribution, and with each locked door she opens, the trauma deepens. The film bleeds rage, every frame pulsing with raw, desperate energy as Predator becomes prey in a vicious, claustrophobic chase through suburban hell. Redemption is never clean, and vengeance leaves scars deeper than chains. Number 16, Eight Eyes. Cass and Gav set off on a tense journey through Eastern Europe, hoping a vacation might heal their fractured relationship. But when they meet a strange local named St. Peter, their trip spirals into a surreal descent neither of them could have foreseen. As they're drawn into a world of ancient rituals, broken towns, and unsettling film reels, reality begins to warp, and so does trust. Directed by Austin Jennings, Eight Eyes is a visually haunting throwback, shot on grainy 16mm, and soaked in the atmosphere of lost time. The deeper Cass ventures, the more disorienting the landscape becomes until the line between history, possession, and madness vanishes entirely. With every frame, the film pulls viewers into a slow, suffocating spiral where escape feels impossible and every eye is watching. Number 15, Tusk.
Let's learn to swim.
In a quiet corner of Canada, horror takes on the shape of a nightmare sewn in flesh. Tusk follows Wallace Brighton, a cocky American podcaster who vanishes after seeking out a bizarre interview subject with a taste for the macabre. Directed by Kevin Smith, this grotesque tale drips with surreal dread as Wallace is drugged, mutilated, and re-engineered into a living walrus by the deranged and philosophical Howard Howe. With every stitch, cartilage snap, and guttural scream, the film mutates from dark comedy into full-blown body horror. Wallace's descent is more than physical. It's a cruel stripping of identity, humanity peeled away layer by layer until only an animal remains. What begins with sarcasm ends in a silent scream, echoing in a homemade hell. Number 14, Theyre Watching.
This must be the worst house in Moldova.
Oh my God.
A reality TV crew heads to a remote Eastern European village to film a home renovation. What they capture instead is something they were never meant to see. The locals are hostile. The house is steeped in strange symbols, and whispers of witchcraft linger in the forests just beyond view. As tensions rise, the crew's cameras keep rolling, recording every unnerving incident until the line between documentary and damnation disappears. Theyre Watching starts as found footage satire and builds into a brutal storm of supernatural violence. The final act erupts in chaos, flipping every expectation on its head as centuries of wrath are unleashed. What began as a simple shoot becomes a blood-soaked reckoning, and the lens becomes their only lifeline. Number 13, The Nightmare.
Are going to die.
In the dead silence of the night, sleep becomes a battleground and waking offers no escape. The Nightmare is Rodney Asher's haunting documentary horror hybrid that drags viewers into the paralyzing grip of real-life sleep paralysis sufferers. As their testimonies unfold, the film recreates their experiences with vivid, surreal horror. Shadowy figures at the bedside, electric terror coursing through frozen limbs, and the suffocating dread of being awake but powerless. Blurring the line between dream and possession, Asher crafts a waking fever dream that dares you to close your eyes. It's not just a documentary, it's a portal into a shared hell that thousands endure nightly. Number 12, Here Alone.
Looks like it's going to be.
I'm sorry.
Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Anne survives alone in the woods after a deadly virus wipes out civilization, scavenging for food, avoiding danger, and clinging to routine in a world gone quiet. Her days are filled with silence, her nights haunted by the memories of what she lost. But when two strangers cross her path, the fragile balance she's built begins to crack. Directed by Rod Blackhurst, Here Alone is a haunting slow burn of post-apocalyptic survival where the real terror isn't what's out there. It's what loneliness can do to the human mind. The stillness of the forest becomes a cage and the past refuses to stay buried. With every step, Anne must decide whether survival means isolation or trust. Number 11, Intruders.
What's your game, huh?
Behind boarded windows and steel locks, a house hides more than fear. It holds secrets with teeth. Intruders follows Anna, a reclusive woman suffering from agoraphobia, trapped within the walls of her childhood home. But when three burglars break in, they discover Anna is not the helpless victim they expected. Directed by Adam Schindler, the film twists the home invasion genre into something far nastier, flipping power and panic as the intruders become prey in a house built like a tomb. Every room hides a trap, and Anna, fragile but feral, wields her trauma like a weapon. Claustrophobic, cruel, and dripping with psychological tension, the film is less about escape and more about what happens when darkness refuses to leave. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Venus. A go-go dancer on the run after stealing a bag of drugs from her nightclub finds shelter in a nearly abandoned apartment building that hides a far darker presence. Mobsters hunting her, a strange celestial event, and ancient supernatural forces collide in this Spanish action horror thriller rooted loosely in Lovecraftian myth, Senin Tunchi, Curse of the Alps.
Sky Mage.
In a remote alpine village nestled beneath snowy peaks, a sinister toy girl carved from wood breathes terrifying life into childhood superstition. When three lonely shepherds craft the doll for companionship, their innocent creation awakens a curse older than the mountains themselves. As mysterious deaths draw the villagers into panic, the boundaries between innocence and evil twist like the mountain paths. The tortured.
You're gonna feel everything.
From now until the moment you die.
Here we go.
After their child is abducted and murdered, an affluent couple decides that the criminal justice system isn't enough, so they take the law into their own hands. As they kidnap the murderer and begin exacting revenge, the lines between victim and perpetrator blur, and the moral cost of vengeance becomes starkly clear. Delivery the beast within.
Here we are with the new baby on the way. It's like all our dreams are coming true.
A small town girl's life unravels when she suspects a monster may be hiding beneath her brother's skin. Plagued by nightmares and inexplicable violence, she races to uncover a horrifying family secret. What starts as sibling concern spirals into primal horror as ancient folklore claws its way into reality. In the end, the real beast might not be what she's hunting, but what lives inside her own bloodline. Number 10, Bad Match.
Hey, you didn't answer my texts.
Harris is a smooth-talking digital marketer who lives for one-night stands and quick swipes, juggling women through dating apps with cold precision. But when he meets Riley, a quirky and intense girl who doesn't take rejection lightly, his carefree routine unravels. She starts showing up uninvited, flooding his phone and inserting herself into every part of his life, professionally and personally. As his world crumbles, Harris begins to question his own actions, his past, and even his sanity. Directed by David Churchirillo, Bad Match explores the razor-thin line between casual encounters and dangerous obsession in the age of instant connection. It's a digital age cautionary tale where every message carries weight, and every ignored call might be a spark in a growing fire. Number 9, The Vigil.
A broken person.
In the heart of Brooklyn's Hasidic quarter, one man is paid to keep watch over the dead, but what he finds is far from peaceful. The Vigil follows Yaakov, a young man estranged from his ultra-Orthodox faith, tasked with watching over a recently deceased man overnight in accordance with Jewish tradition. Directed by Keith Thomas, the film envelops you in thick religious dread where shadows whisper ancient horrors and guilt festers like rot. As the night deepens, an unseen presence coils through the house, feeding on trauma and grief, turning sacred rites into a gateway for something older than death. The film mixes folklore with suffocating atmosphere, making every creak and flicker a silent scream. Number 8, Tourist Trap. A group of young travelers find themselves stranded when their car breaks down on a desolate highway. Seeking help, they wander into a roadside wax museum run by the strangely kind but unsettling Mr. Slauson. At first, it seems like a harmless detour, but the museum is filled with eerie mannequins that seem to breathe, blink, and whisper. As night falls, one by one, the friends begin to disappear, and the line between display and death begins to blur. Tourist Trap is a surreal nightmare where telekinesis, masked figures, and inanimate eyes turn a forgotten roadside attraction into a killing ground. In this twisted house of horrors, the exhibits are more than lifeless forms, and once you're inside, you're not just a guest, you're a part of the collection. Number 7, Descent into Darkness. What begins as a dream turns into a slow-motion scream. Descent into Darkness follows a cheerful French journalist named Sergei Prakov, who sets out to film a documentary about happiness across Europe. But as his plans unravel and reality slips through his fingers, Sergei spirals into isolation, addiction, and madness, documenting every deranged step of his collapse. Directed by Raphael Cherkassky, the film masquerades as found footage but quickly festers into a grotesque, unblinking look at a man becoming a monster. With each frame more disturbing than the last, the film is not just a title, but it's a warning. There's no score, no safety net. Only the dreadful voyeurism of watching sanity rot in real time. Number 6, When Animals Dream. Marie is a quiet teenager living in a small, weather-beaten fishing village on the coast of Denmark where secrets run deep and conformity is survival. Her days are spent caring for her paralyzed mother and working at a grim fish processing plant where whispers follow her every move. But when her body begins to change, strange rashes, sharpened senses, a hunger she can't explain, Marie starts to suspect there's something monstrous buried in her bloodline. As the truth claws its way to the surface, she learns that her family hides more than illness. It hides a curse. Directed by Jonas Arnby, When Animals Dream is a haunting slow burn that uses the werewolf myth to tell a story of repression, rage, and inherited pain. As Marie embraces what she truly is, the town begins to fear her, and with good reason. Number 5, American Mary. In the sterile halls of medical school, brilliance meets brutality. American Mary follows Mary Mason, a gifted surgical student struggling to pay her tuition, who stumbles into the underground world of extreme body modification. Directed by Jen and Sylvia Soska, the film slices through the body horror genre with surgical precision, exploring themes of consent, vengeance, and identity with blood-soaked elegance. As Mary's reputation grows in the dark corners of society, so does her transformation, from promising student to cold, calculated artist of flesh. The horror isn't just in the cutting, but in what's left behind. The scars, the silence, the slow unraveling of a woman reshaped by betrayal. Number 4, Right at Your Door.
You sleep out here! I'm gonna die!
Brad and Lexi are a married couple living in Los Angeles, going about their ordinary day when disaster strikes. Multiple bombs detonate across the city, releasing an unidentified toxic substance. Brad, still at home, scrambles to seal their house from the deadly fallout using duct tape, plastic sheeting, and desperation. But when Lexi returns, exposed and coughing, Brad is faced with an impossible decision. Let her in and risk contamination, or leave her outside and survive alone. The film is a tense, claustrophobic horror thriller that transforms a suburban home into a quarantine nightmare. As fear, paranoia, and moral uncertainty mount, the line between safety and sacrifice begins to erode. The real horror doesn't come from the bombs, it comes from what they force people to become. Number 3, May.
Oh, this is weird.
You like weird.
Not that weird.
In the lonely corners of childhood, a broken doll teaches a girl that love must be stitched together. May follows its title character, a shy, awkward veterinary assistant whose desperate hunger for connection festers into obsession. Directed by Lucky McKee, the film unravels like a soft-spoken nightmare, blending quiet tragedy with splashes of crimson as May's fragile world collapses. Rejected by everyone she reaches for, May begins collecting perfect parts from those who failed her, building a friend who can't leave, can't judge, only love. The horror isn't sudden, but it's slow, tender, and inescapably sad, dripping with dread as innocence mutates into madness. With a performance that lingers like a whisper in the dark, May is a love letter written in blood and stitches. Number 2, The Blackening.
There's a crazy person out here hunting us. You got Rosa.
7 black friends reunite for a weekend getaway in a secluded cabin to celebrate Juneteenth, expecting laughs, drinks, and a break from the world. But their plans take a deadly turn when they stumble upon a bizarre board game called The Blackening, and suddenly find themselves trapped by a masked killer who forces them to play or die. Each question tests their knowledge of black history, horror tropes, and their own pasts, turning the game into a life or death struggle that mocks and weaponizes everything they thought they knew. Directed by Tim Story, The Blackening is a sharp, satirical slasher that dissects racial stereotypes while delivering brutal kills and razor-edged humor. What starts as a celebration of friendship turns into a fight for survival where cultural identity, horror fandom, and dark comedy collide. Number 1, The Kingtide.
Isla, help! Isla!
In a remote island village shrouded by mist and tradition, a miracle child brings light but not without shadows. The Kingtide follows Isla, a mysterious baby found alone on the shore after a vicious storm, who grows up wielding unexplainable healing powers. Directed by Christian Sparks, this chilling folk horror tale slowly unravels the rot beneath a community's blind devotion. As Isla becomes the center of the village's survival, what began as worship curdles into obsession, and the line between faith and fear collapses under the weight of dependence. Sparks paints with windswept dread, each scene soaked in sea salt and unease as the villagers turn on each other to protect the power they've claimed as theirs. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Munafink. A devout Muslim healer haunted by personal tragedy struggles to reclaim his faith while battling a powerful demonic force preying on the vulnerable. As he helps exorcise a possessed widow, he confronts both supernatural evil and his own inner demons. The lines between spiritual salvation and psychological torment blur in a chilling tale rooted in Malaysian folklore. The Innkeepers. 2 employees of a nearly shuttered historic hotel spend its final weekend chasing ghost stories and hidden footage in the bowels of the building. The decaying hotel is silent, full of old secrets and strange guests, and the duo's amateur investigations start to push the eerie boundaries of reality. Cooties. When a mysterious virus infects the kids at an elementary school, a group of unprepared teachers must survive the shortest school day ever. What begins as playground pandemonium quickly turns into slasher chaos as the children mutate into feral predators. With makeshift weapons and dwindling hope, the staff fight tooth and nail to escape before recess becomes a death sentence. The girl who got away.
Let's play a game.
1, 2.
A woman who escaped from captivity years ago must confront the past when the killer who held her resurfaces and her world begins to unravel. The film explores trauma, survival, and the long shadows of violence as the threat morphs into something neither victim nor pursuer could fully anticipate.